begin by reading a psalm, Psalm 15. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai mi yagur b'yahalecha, mi yishkon b'har kodshecha, holech tamim u'foel tzedek, v'dober emes bilvavo, lo ragal al shono, lo asal re'eu ra'ah, v'cherpa lo nosa al krovo. Nivza b'einav nim'as, v'yes yirei Adonai yechabed, nishba lo harav lo yamir, kaspel lo nosan b'neshech, v'shochet al noki lo lakach, osa eleh lo yemot li'olam. We are here today to pay our respects to a beloved father, husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, Mr. Abraham Donner, Avraham ben Chaim of blessed memory. Mr. Donner was a European Jew who never lost that European flavor, the Yiddish flavor, the Europeische flavor, a man who worked hard, a man who was ethical, a man who cared about his family. And uniquely, Mr. Donner was a survivor. After having had the experience 2 years ago of spending a week in Poland, I have a greater understanding and a greater respect and awe for people who lived through the horrors of the Shoah, of the Holocaust. How they survived, the miracles around which they survived, hiding identities, taking on professions, in this case becoming a shoemaker or learning how to become a shoemaker in order to find a trade to keep them alive. The stories are endless on and on. But more importantly, the ability, the strength, the tenacity to come and start over again, to build a family, to raise children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. It's unbelievable when you think about their strength and their tenacity. We are now in the month of Adar. Soon we're going to read the story of Esther. We're going to read about a person by the name of Mordechai, Ish Yehudi. We read about this man, we call him Yehudi, which would seem to imply that he's from the tribe of Judah. And yet later on it says, Ish Yemini, he's from the tribe of Benjamin. Which one was he? Was he from the tribe of Judah or was he from the tribe of Benjamin? So our rabbis in the Talmud tell us that he was from the tribe of Benjamin, but he had the qualities of Yehudi, of being a Jew, who therefore came out of Israel, went through the exile into Babylonia, ultimately found his way to Shushan. He was an individual who took with him his strength and his tenacity and remained that same person. So therefore we refer to him as an Ish Yehudi, a Jew. The term Jew is called a Yehudi, from Judah, who stood up for his morals and his standards. But in truth, Mordechai was from the tribe of Benjamin. And I think of anyone who lived through the horrors of the Holocaust, remained committed, were able to rebuild a family. They're really personifying that midah, that point, that characteristic of being like a Yehudi, like a Ish Yehudi, like Mordechai. Came to America to rebuild. I always find it amazing how they end up in Cleveland. You understand if they end up in New York, maybe even in the Baltimore, Washington areas on the East Coast, Boston, Philadelphia. But I always find it amazing how people ended up then, after the war. They had a relative, someone who connected to them. But if you think about the hashgacha, the fate that would have them come to our community and to raise and build their family in our very special community. And another thought that I was thinking this week, in addition to beginning to look forward to Purim, is also we read the Torah portion of Truma about the building of the tabernacle. And here Torah tells us, V'asuli migdash, you shall build for me a tabernacle, V'shachanti b'socham, and I will live in their midst. The obvious question is, I will live in its midst. I will live in the Mishkan. God is saying, I will place my glory, my Shechina, I will place myself in it. What does it mean, b'socham, in them? So our rabbis tell us, once again, a little bit of play on words. It means I will live in the hearts and souls of all the people who were involved in the building of the Mishkan. It's not just that God will place his heavenly spirit in the Mishkan, but in the families, in the Jewish people who build the Mishkan. That's the kind of people that Abraham and Yibodel L'chaim Tovim, his wife Clara, raising a family, rebuilding, giving them values, the importance of Jewish education, the importance of education, educating their children, and even later on in life, when he had the opportunity, Abraham went back to learn to study more, to become more educated, the importance of education, but more so because they knew that in their lives they lost out. They didn't have the opportunity in their younger years to get education we take for granted. Today we take these things for granted. People who went through those years in the Holocaust didn't have the opportunity, didn't have a normal childhood, didn't have a normal adolescence. The opportunity to take advantage, as we say in Yiddish, to chaperein. Those are things that were so important. So we come today to pay our respects and to recognize someone who understood the value of life, took life to its best, rebuilt, reconnected, and passed on that legacy to a wonderful family, to a wife who lived together. They were married for, we said, 62 years. A very special, beautiful life together, raising children and grandchildren, and even having the opportunity to see great-grandchildren. What a special blessing, what a special bracha. To Michelle, to Eveline, to Ira, who had the personal experience of living in that home, growing up in that home. I'm sure there were challenges living in the home of Holocaust survivors, but still reminding themselves that here were people who were able to rebuild, have the strength, the tenacity, the ability to take all that they had and rebuild it, and to be able to contribute in giving their children constructive lives. We ask Hashem that when Abraham's soul goes up into Shemayim and stands in front of the heavenly throne, Kisei HaKavod, that he asks Hashem, I've been through enough. Please, in my merit, in the merit of others, all those who went through these atrocities, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu stop the tsaras, the difficulties we have in our world. May we live in a time of peace, security, particularly for the nation of Israel and particularly for the state of Israel. I'd like to ask Michelle and then Eveline to share a few words and personal thoughts at this moment. Michelle?
Just a few short words. I want to thank everybody for all their kindnesses, the rabbi and all our friends and family, on behalf of my sister and my brother and our families. When I used to read in the Jewish news, I used to look and see that somebody lived to 85, 86. I said, it's a shame, but they lived a long life. But somehow when it's your father, even though he was 89, 90 years old, we're not so sure, but it just seemed too short. He was with it and vibrant and lucky to live in his own home till the very end. And we thank Hashem for at least that much. He was orphaned at 15. He watched his family get completely wiped out, and he was on his own. And somehow he managed to make a life for us. And we were children that never wanted for anything. We had everything we ever wanted and more, and we appreciate it. And I also, on a personal note, want to thank my parents for helping me when I had an especially hard time when my husband passed away. He did love my husband too. I was 19 when I got married, and you know, if he handed me over to my husband, he had to really like him. So I just want to ask my father for mechila. If I did anything, he should please forgive me and the rest of my family. And we just hope he has an easy journey.
Eveline.
My dad's name is Abraham Donner. The word Donner in German means clap of thunder, and that was a good way to describe my dad's personality. He loved new cars, cantorial music, going to the JCC, and his family. He was a butcher by trade. One of his business claims to fame was becoming the first distributor of Hebrew National kosher deli products to the Cleveland area. My dad brought home boxes so that his friends and neighbors could stop over to pick up an order of hot dogs and salamis. My dad loved new cars. He stopped over to Friedman Buick and later Zalad Oldsmobile to get a new car brochure, walk around the showroom, sit in the new cars, even if he wasn't in the market to buy one. He used to daven Sunday mornings at home for hours when he had some free time, and even though he was not the cook in the family, my mother's schnitzel is famous. My dad used to slice up turkey roll with pastrami for sandwiches on Sunday for lunch. To our children, my dad is Zaida. to all the grandchildren. He loved spending time with Allison, Justin, Adam, and Jared. My dad used to pick up Allison from Beechwood High School every day after school, even though we lived so close. He did not want anything to happen to her. He used to sit on our driveway, watch Justin, Adam, and Jared play basketball. When they made a basket, he used to tell them that they must have eaten their Cheerios that morning. We spent Rosh Hashanah and Passover with my dad and mom and family. That was the only time he was relaxed enough to tell some of the stories from the war. We were lucky that most of the family was together this past President's Day weekend. My sister-in-law Batsheva arranged it, and my mother cooked amazing Shabbos meals, and it was wonderful to be together. The timing was beshert. Dad, from Mom, Michelle, Irvin of blessed memory, Elon and I, Ira and Batsheva, your grandchildren, Yonid and Yankee, Ariel, Talia, Allison, Justin, Adam and Jared, Zachary, Tali, JJ, and Lonnie, and your very special great-granddaughter, Eliana. We love you very much, and we will miss you.
Please rise for the Kilmali Rachamim. Kilmali Rachamim, Shochein Bameromim, Hamitzei Menucha Nechona, Al Kanvei HaShechina, B'malos Kedoshim Utarim Kezor Harakia Mazhirim, Es Nishmas Abraham Ben Chaim Shehalach Liolamo, Bavur Shanachnu Misbalolim Badaskaras Nishmaso, B'gan Eden Tehemenu Chaso, Lochein Balarachamim, Yastireu B'Seser Kenafav Liolamim, Bitzror Achayim Es Nishmaso, Adonai Hunacholaso, Yonuach V'Shalom Al Mishkavo, V'Nomar, Amen. O God, full of compassion, who dwells on high, grant proper repose on the sheltering wings of your presence, in the lofty levels of the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the firmament unto the soul of Abraham ben Chaim, who has gone into this world, and for whose memory we pray. May his repose be in paradise. May the Master of compassion bring him under the cover of God's wings and bind his soul in the bond of life. May the Lord be his heritage, and may his repose on his resting place be in peace. And we all conclude, Amen. Please be seated. The burial will be in Zion Memorial Park. The Shiva will be at the Donner Home, 2465 Beechwood Boulevard, starting shortly after the funeral this afternoon. There are no official hours. Will be all day until 10 p.m. Please don't come later than that, or don't leave later than that. The minyanim will be for the next few days. Mincha Marv will be tonight and tomorrow night at 6 p.m., and Shachris will be Thursday and Friday at 7 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. After that point, there will no longer be a minyan in the house, but Shiva will continue officially until Tuesday morning.